Today I'm making a video on what is an intellectual disability. If you are a student of psychology or if you're a teacher, a student of education, it's important for you to understand what an intellectual disability is because, oh, the cat's here. It's important for you to understand what an intellectual disability is, so I'm going to describe it. I think this is going to take 5 to 10 minutes. Here she is. Do you want to be in the video? Okay, you can be in the video. All right. So if you're a teacher, you're going to have some children during your career who you meet who have an intellectual disability. And so I'm going to tell you what it is. An intellectual disability is a difference in the child's cognition and their adaptive functioning. There are 4 types of intellectual disabilities. The most common one is a mild intellectual disability. There's also a moderate intellectual disability, a severe intellectual disability, and a profound intellectual disability. So typically what happens is if a child comes to the school system and it's found that they're not comprehending at the same level as their peers, and that physically they typically look the same as everyone else, not always, but they usually do. But when their teacher's speaking to them or teaching them a new task, they don't seem to grasp it. Their language seems immature for their age, and they need help with practical things like putting on their coat, knowing how to share things, knowing how to use the bathroom, things like that. So if a child is seen to be developmentally at a lower age, this is hilarious. Thank you for adding this to the video, honey. If the child seems to be developmentally at a lower age than the other children, what the staff often suspect is that they may have an intellectual disability. So they would first try some interventions, giving them some extra support. They'd get some background information on the child. What languages do they speak? Have they had any childhood illnesses? Things like that. But if the child doesn't make progress, they would sometimes refer them for testing to see what it is that's causing them difficulty and if it is an intellectual disability. So I am a person who often does that testing, and then my clinical supervisor reviews it. And if there's a diagnosis, he or she will make the diagnosis. Intellectual disabilities, the percentage of people who have them is probably about 3% of people have an intellectual disability. So to give you an idea of what that means, if you were in a high school with 1,000 children, which is not really even a very large high school, 3% out of 1,000, which is, how many is that, honey?